We're here at the site of the 1988 World Championships. We're here with Gene Whipp, Chief Referee from the American Powerboat Association. Gene, what do you think about the record fleet, 106, 107 boats, and although the wind's blowing a little bit, what do you think?
Well, I think it's just tremendous, Vic. It's, obviously the World Cup Regatta here has become a truly an international event, and with the participants coming in from all over the world, and the biggest fleet of sportsman boats. I think that's the thing that I'm really excited about, is how the sportsman classes are growing along with the national classes, and I think it's going to be a tremendous show.
What are you looking for today for weather, and who do you think is going to fare better, the old deep V's or the new high-speed cats?
Well, of course, we had a front could just come through, and of course, when a front comes through this time of year in Florida, the wind will change itself around, and by the time we get out on the water today, I think it's going to mix it up a little bit. I think that's we're racing inside the reef, and mainly the wind's going to be out of the north, so it won't be real bad. But I think it'll make them honest. I think it's good for the V's, especially.
We appreciate you taking the time out, Gene. I know you got a real busy schedule. I'd like to catch up with you Saturday morning for just a minute and get some more of your views after a couple days of racing have gone by. Gene Whipp, Chief Referee from the American Powerboat Association. Thank you. Wish all the guys a safe race for me.
Thank you.
And now we're coming up on our first boat, number 45, PTM Express. This sleek 47-foot red and white Apache is by three 850 horsepower C&G marine inboards with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Phil Mashinsky from Watchung, New Jersey. Phil is also your driver, and on throttles from North Miami, Florida, Phil's got Paul Churchill. So the crew of Mashinsky and Churchill are making up the PTM Express race team. PTM Express has had a very fine race year in 1988. Overall, he was just about 400 to 500 points behind Al Copeland's Popeye's Diet Coke for the eventual champion in Superboat class. Mashinsky has taken second place for 88, so he's really come down here with a vengeance. With just a few points separating himself from Copeland, Mashinsky really wants to have a fine performance here in Key West and try to run away with the World Championship down here. That would certainly be a fine culmination to an excellent campaign for the PTM Express race team. We wish him all the best in today's race. Mashinsky and Churchill in the PTM Express race boat. PTM Express enjoying a fine run. Those motors are really putting out a lot of power, and they've done a great job. Now we're going to pick up some of the other open boats and just stick with some open boat racing right here. There in your picture you see Bob Kaiser's Systems Racing. And going by on the outside, I believe that's one of the Italian race boats going by. Couldn't quite pick it up. But on the inside and in the middle, that will be Kaiser's Systems race boat. Kaiser had a fine campaign, finishing in third place for the 88 campaign. As you see, the seas are a little choppy right here. About 2 to 3 foot seas right now, picking up a bit. But these boats have so much power, and the hulls really have the technology down now that they can just slice through these waters. And Kaiser's Cougar hull is really doing a great job right there. And on the inside of your picture, that is boat number 55, Chairman of the Board. Chairman of the Board is a 38-foot Cougar catamaran powered by twin 700 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Nuri Sabucho from Rochester, New York, and on throttles he's got the famous Tommy Akari doing his throttle work. Tommy Akari has quite a bit of experience. This is Sabucho's first time in the open class cockpit, and he's really excited about it. He seemed very excited and very thrilled to be here in this boat, and along with Tommy Akari providing the throttling and all the experience that he has over the years, Chairman of the Board is certainly going to be a boat to be reckoned with in today's race. Sabucho seems very comfortable in the driver's seat, and Akari's really doing the masterful job, as he always does, on the throttles. There you get an idea of the lead pack in front of Sabucho. A little earlier on, Vic had a chance to speak with Nuri and Tom Akari.
Good morning from the beautiful Florida Keys, Key West, Florida. We're here with Nuri Sabucho and Tommy Akari, Chairman of the Board Racing Team, open class boat number 55. First race for Nuri in this boat, definitely not the first for Tommy. Nuri, what do you think about your first race in an open class boat?
Well, I was very excited when I went into the cockpit. I came out smiling. I came out smiling because I liked the ride.
Well, that's racing. Tommy, you've been in a lot of boats. What do you think of this one?
Well, we've had a short period of time to test the boat. We were at Lake X. We only tested on Tuesday and Wednesday. We come out here and we run the boat yesterday afternoon. The boat feels good, and we'll see how we do today.
Well, good luck to you all. First race, new team, first race on Tuesday. Good luck. Have a safe race.
Thank you.
Chairman of the board, having a very good run. Now we come up on your 1988 national champion, special edition. This 35-foot Jaguar is powered by twin 750 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboards with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by John D'Elia from Coscob, and he's got JD Jr. on the throttles. They had a tremendous campaign this year, and they've really enjoyed it. John D'Elia met all challengers and had an excellent year, taking first place. And the teamwork between himself and his son JD was just phenomenal. A little earlier on, Joey Impressor from East Coast Marine had a chance to speak with John D'Elia himself at dockside.
Here we are at the 1988 World Championships in Key West again. John D'Elia, special edition. What do you feel about the World Championships this year?
Well, I'm looking forward to them, Joe. As you know, we won the national championships with JD, and my first year running an open class, and had a great year with JD. He proved to be a tremendous throttleman. Of course, he had a good teacher, and of course, you're probably the first teacher he had. Joe, he's a guy that rigged our first boat and taught JD most everything he knows about throttling. Joe and a lot of other guys that have certainly helped JD come a long way. I think we surprised a lot of people. We surprised ourselves. We had a great year. Jack Clark built us a great boat from Jaguar Marine in Miami. Of course, Mercury took care of the boat down at Lake X, Don Schwebs and Jim Emerson and the boys. We had a very reliable boat, a very consistent boat, had no mechanical problems. We also have a very fast boat, as a lot of people know. In Sarasota, we set a new world speed record of 109.5 miles an hour. We love the boat. I'm very happy with JD, and of course Key West is my favorite place because I have a home here. I've been racing here for 8 years now, and I've won here 3 times, so we're really looking forward to it. Although we know winning the national championship is great, but we've got some tremendous competition here, not only the guys that gave us havoc all year, like Bob Kaiser and Bob Adoni and Earl Lanier, but also Fabio Bacci, or Buzzi, I can't pronounce that Italian name, from Italy, the current world champion, probably one of the premier offshore racers in the world, plus a host of new other Cougars and a host of new other boats. So this is really going to be quite a race, and we're looking forward to it. We know the competition is going to be tough, but we hope that the boat's going to do what it's done all year, and that's be reliable, be quick, and if that happens, we'll win. If it doesn't happen, we're going to have a nice time trying. And I'd like to wish all the guys that are running against us a good year, and especially to my friend and boat builder Jack Clark, who happened to show up and looking here like a Crocodile Dundee himself up there with the hat on.
Well, it looks great, John. I see your father and son act seems to be pulling through very well. I wish you guys the best of luck and have a good year.
Okay, thanks a lot, Joe.
Well, we've met John D'Elia through his interview, and you've heard his philosophy and who he wanted to thank and what's made the Special Edition race team the great team that it was for 1988. And now you've just been watching John D'Elia and JD Jr. do their thing. And as you can see, Special Edition is for real. This boat is very strong right now. He's doing speeds in excess of 90 miles per hour. The boat is dialed in quite nicely. John feels very comfortable out here in the waters off Key West, Florida. And JD and John D'Elia Sr. have really come together as a very impressive team. He knows who his competition is. He's really leery of those hot Italian boats. But like he said, he's going to be out here. He's going to let it all go, have a good time with racing. So we're going to sit back, see the new US1 national champion, John D'Elia, along with JD, who have really made Special Edition one of the very best race teams in their class. Special Edition. Special edition, enjoying a very fine run here today, your new US 1 champion. Now we're coming back on chairman of the board, who's dueling with Kaiser Systems right now. Number 55, chairman of the board right there, having a very good run also. He is hanging with the lead pack. And now we're coming up on boat number 7. This is Bob Kaiser's boat, a 37-foot Cougar catamaran, all black, known as Systems. This boat is powered by twin 750 horsepower Mercruiser inboards with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Bob Kaiser, who hails from Detroit, Michigan, and on throttles he's got Errol Lanier from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The crew of Kaiser and Lanier make up the Systems race team. They've had a very good year themselves. Kaiser finishing 3rd place nationally for the 88 campaign, behind Canada Homes Challenge and Special Edition, who you saw earlier on. But Bob Kaiser, a great sportsman and certainly one of your better race drivers out here in the open waters. He really wants to have a good run today. There's quite a bit of professionalism and teamwork behind the Systems spirit, and the Systems team has all been very strong, and they've really come together for today's race. Just listen to what this boat can do here in the open waters. Bob Kaiser, Systems. Lanier really doing a job working that throttle right now as Kaiser guides the Systems hull over these waters. Boat sounds very strong right now. This morning, Vic Spellberg had a chance to speak with Bob Kaiser about the Systems race team.
We're here Tuesday morning with Bob Kaiser, 1987 national champion. Bob, another year, another World Championships, 3 days of racing. What do you think overall?
Well, it looks like it's going to be some good, fierce competition here. You know, we have the 2 Italian boats, or 3 Italian boats, and the Japanese, of course, in the KS&W boat. And, of course, John Hansinelli's got a different power package this year, and then the other boys that have been racing against all year. So it should be a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be an aggressive 3 days of racing.
What do you think the weather looks like for today, Tuesday morning?
Well, I'd say it looks like it's calm right now, so we're going to go with the light water setup, and hopefully our speed will be able to dominate over the Bootsy V-bottom with the wing on it.
We hope your speed will be down where our freeze-frame helicopter can keep up with you. Good luck to you. Have a safe race. We'll see you Thursday morning, okay?
Thank you, Vic.
Right now, the open class is certainly living up to its previous billing. In first place and second place, you've got the Italian boats. First place, Fabio Buzzi's boat is just running away with things, enjoying a very fine day. Achille Motors is in second, D'Elia Special Edition in third, and Bob Kaiser's Systems right here is presently in fourth place, holding off Antonelli's Spirit of America, who is running in fifth. The open class is truly a dominant class here today, and the Italians are in command right now, but we'll just have to wait and see what the Americans can come back with. Now we come up on boat number 15, Spirit of America. This all-red 38-foot Cougar catamaran is powered by twin 800 horsepower motors with Keycaffer outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by John Antonelli of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and on throttles he's got Harold Smith. The team of Antonelli and Smith making up the Spirit of America race team right here. And as you can see, they look very comfortable in this boat. Antonelli got off to a very good start in '88. But then he did not enter some of the races as the campaign wore on throughout the year. He finished 7th overall in the open class for 1988, but he's come down here with certainly something to prove. He is presently running in 5th place behind Kaiser's Systems race boat and trailing Special Edition right now at this point in the race. But John Antonelli seems to be enjoying a very good run right now in the Spirit of America race boat from Key West, Florida. John Antonelli's Spirit of America. Antonelli, Spirit of America, enjoying a very fine run right here at this point in the race as they round the checkpoint. Nice shot right there as we watch Antonelli come around that checkpoint and head towards the next leg of the race. Very clear skies right there, as you can see. Now we're going to be coming up on some of our modified boats. As you see rounding the checkpoint right now, that's Joey Impression's Chariots of Fire. Really having a strong run. He charges to the lead and he stays right there. Impression of East Coast Marine out of New York has got this boat dialed in very nicely, and he's extending the lead slightly over M1 Dirty Laundry, who you see in your picture right now. Passing a slower boat in the middle of your picture right there. On the outside, that's Impression's Chariots of Fire, and right behind him, several hundred yards behind, is Dirty Laundry. But let's stay with M1 Dirty Laundry. This is a 32-foot white skater catamaran powered by twin 540 horsepower KS&W inboards with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Joe Mack from Manchester, Missouri, and on throttles he's got Harold Stepp from Altamont Springs, Florida. The crew of Mack and Stepp, what can we say? They've been truly a picture of consistency throughout the year. Dirty Laundry took first place nationally for 1988 in the modified class, holding off John Emmons in Harrah's Chariots of Fire. They had a duel all year. Mac prevailed in the Dirty Laundry race team. He looks very strong at this point in the race right now. But Jolyon Parker's running in the Chariots of Fire name right now is slightly ahead of Mac's Dirty Laundry. They'll be dueling most of the day with Cat, American Dream, Chariots of Fire, and Dirty Laundry will be very, very tough. An M66 Special Edition will also be competitive in today's race. But you're sitting with your national champion for '88, who enjoyed a very good campaign, Joe Mac's Dirty Laundry. Jolyon Pressure still hanging on to a slight lead over Mac in Dirty Laundry. Now we come up on a stock boat. This boat is Conch Attack. This is a 24-foot skater catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboards. This boat is owned by Cates Brothers Offshore Racing in Key West, Florida. You've got Scott C. Cates as your driver and Craig Cates on your throttles. Everyone hailing from Key West, Florida, so these are local racers right here. So they're very familiar with the water conditions out here, the race course, and obviously they have a lot of hometown rooters back in Mallory Square pulling for a Conch Attack race team. There are so many boats entered in stock class. You've got the Calabats, K&K Ghost, Main Attraction, Longshot, Bermuda's Racing Team, East Coast Marine, Hat Trick, Vigilante, Crime Buster, Conch Attack, and the list goes on and on. High Risk is there, Talon Special, many more who you've seen throughout the year. The Cates brothers are very comfortable racing. They've been out in these waters for many years, and they're very comfortable in their 24-foot skater. They really know the limitations of what this boat can do. You can see right there they're pushing this boat to its limits. They get a little loose at times, but that's just because they're really pushing this boat and trying to get everything they can out of it. They're really charging hard right now. The Cates brothers in Conch Attack from Key West, Florida. Concattac having a very fine run. Right there on the inside of your picture, that is Max Dirty Laundry. And Felson's High Risk on the outside. Different class boats, so not to worry in terms of the competition there. But Dirty Laundry is still charging hard as he chases and pressures Chariots of Fire. But right now we're staying with S77, the High Risk race team. This is a 25-foot skater catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Richard Felson from Great Neck, New York, who is also your driver of record. However, Rich does the throttling on this race team, and his navigator and driver is John Engel from Seminole, Florida. Felson had a very fine 1988. He came in second place this year, just behind Dick O'Day Racing and Accurate Marine. They dueled it out all year, but Dick O'Day prevailed over Felson's high-risk race team by a mere 120 points. A little bit of a rough ride right here for this 24-foot skater. But nonetheless, Felson knows what his boat has also, and he's charging very hard right now. He's presently in the midst of a fierce competitive battle in class between some of the boats we mentioned earlier on. But Felson, being the true champion that he is, and having a very competitive and successful 1988 campaign, knows what's ahead of him for these 3 days of racing, and I'm sure he's got his strategy mapped out. From Key West, Florida, Rich Felson's High Risk Race Team. Felson's High Risk Race Team having a good day. This is unfortunate. F15, someone who's not having such a good day. This is Nick Antonelli and Scott Barnhart of the Spirit of America race team, who obviously pushed this 24-foot boat a little too hard. We do hear over the radio from the medical copter that they are both in very good physical shape, so that is a fortunate break for them. Now we come up on boat number 35 and back to the open class. This boat is known as Priority 1. It is a 39-foot active catamaran. This boat is powered by twin 7-horsepower Chevy inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Gregory Buchanan from Sarasota, Florida. His navigator is Wayne Wyckoff from Bradenton, Florida, and on throttles he's got Brett Archer from Bradenton, Florida. So the crew of Archer, Wyckoff, and Buchanan making up the Priority 1 race team. Now we come up on M7, the boat known as Cat. This sleek 33-foot Baja Image catamaran is powered by twin Merc Cruiser inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and throttled by Al Kropp from Scherville, Indiana. It is being driven today by John Dummel from Arlington Heights, Illinois. So the crew of Dummel and Kropp making up the Cat race team. Al Kropp had a very good 1988 campaign. He finished in third place nationally in the modified division, which really symbolizes the success that the Cat race team has enjoyed throughout '88. But right now, Kropp is really trying to challenge hard Dirty Laundry in today's race. He's looking very good right now. Dirty Laundry is presently in first place. Cat is in second place. So it is between those two drivers, just as it has been between these two guys all year. So Kropp is really charging hard in the Cat race team. Just listen to the throttling job that he's doing right now. Let's go to Vic Spellberg, who earlier on spoke with Al Kropp of the Cat Race Team.
We're sitting out here on M7 with Al Kropp. In fact, we're sitting out here on a new capsule. Al, tell us a little bit about this.
Well, most of the fatalities and injuries today have come from boat stuffing. We are very safety conscious and took some efforts to design a capsule, and with the help of Image Boats, design a capsule that we feel will give us some protection and a little more longevity to the life of the boat.
With the capsule and possibly a false sense of security, no wind, how does that affect you? Make you go too fast?
I don't think so, Vic. You know, we still respect the water and all the damage it can do to our boat and ourselves. I believe, you know, it's just one more added safety factor. It's not a reason to break any rules or to become unsafe. We don't become unsafe because we've got the safety capsule or go any faster.
Well, we wish you good luck tomorrow. We hope you get a checkered flag, but more than that, we wish you a safe race. Good luck, Al.
Thanks, Vic.
Al Kropp having a very good day as he chases Joe Mack's Dirty Laundry. It's between these two boats right now in class. We have heard that Joey and Precious Chariots of Fire has dropped out in that division, so it's going to be between those two guys right now in modified. Here we're coming up on a stock boat, S240, East Coast Marine. This boat is a 24-foot Douglas Skater catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboards. This boat is owned and driven by Kevin Stevens from Pembroke, Bermuda, and on his throttles and navigator he's got Henry Trott from Devonshire, Bermuda. So it is a Bermuda race team, but the reason why they do have the name East Coast Marine from New York is that East Coast Marine does maintain this boat for Kevin Stevens. So the crew from Bermuda is having a very good day here today in stock class. They're presently running in 5th place behind the other boat from Bermuda, Bermuda's racing team. So the boats from Bermuda are being represented here very good in the stock class, and they're having a very good run right now. Stevens and Trott of East Coast Marine from Bermuda having a very fine day of racing in S240 from Key West. East Coast Marine having a very fine day. Now we come up on boat number 13. C&G is awesome. There's a 46-foot Cougar V-bottom with three 800-horsepower C&G Cobra inboards with Mercury number 4 outdrives. This boat is owned and throttled by Elliott Sutton from North Miami Beach, Florida. He's got Randy Garcia as his driver and Larry Goldman as his navigator. Garcia from North Miami, Florida, Goldman from Hollywood, Florida. So the Floridians making up C&G's awesome race team, and they're having a very good run right now. They're trailing PTM Express and Gentry Eagle and Gentry's Turbo Eagle as we start heading toward one of the last legs of today's race. Elliott Sutton, C&G awesome, having a very fine run as he chases the leaders in the Superboat class. C&G is awesome. It really is sounding awesome at this point in time. Those three 800 horsepower C&G Cobra inboards are really doing the job, and this boat is really starting to make a move and closing the gap between himself and the lead pack in the Superboat category. C&G's awesome race team. As we leave C&G's awesome, we come up on S54, Vigilante Racing. This 24-foot Douglas Marine catamaran is powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Michael Moritz of St. Louis, Missouri. Michael is also doing the driving, and his throttle man is George Peterson from West Islip, New York. George Peterson, your East Coast freeze frame rider, freeze frame video East Coast rider. George Peterson has been around racing for many, many years. He's truly a seasoned veteran in this sport, and he's teamed up with Michael Moritz for the Vigilante Racing Team. Vigilante Race Team is running in your lead pack right now with K&K Ghost, Main Attraction, and Longshot. So Peterson and Moritz are certainly enjoying a fine run in the Vigilante Race Team right now. As you can see, the boat looks very strong at this point in the race. At times getting a little loose, but Peterson, with his experience and technician, masterful qualities on that throttle, really get the boat dialed in quite nicely, and Moritz is doing a great job driving this boat throughout the course. So Peterson and Moritz are having a fine day right now in Vigilante Racing. This morning, Vic Spellberg had a chance to catch up with Mike Moritz in the dry pits from Vigilante Racing.
We're here in the dry pits Tuesday morning with Mike from Vigilante Racing Team. A lot of skaters in your class here, according to my list, 16 boats. What's your strategy with a lot of equal boats running?
Well, we've got the stronger engines, and the Bermudan boys, they've got some strong engines, so we're just going to lay right behind them and hope to pass them at the end. And we're kind of worried about the KK Ghost.
I was just going to ask you, repeating world champions, what do you think about the weather conditions? It's not quite as rough as it used to be around here.
It's going to be their day of racing. We're just going to have to try to catch them and pass them.
Well, good luck. Be careful catching them and passing them. Remember, safety comes first. Good luck for a safe day.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank the people at Gatorade, especially Tom Fox and John and Joe Barron at Snakers Footwear and Snakeskin Activewear. They've been a big help to us.
These people all responsible for your effort and you being here today, right?
Them and OPC in St. Louis, Missouri, Outboard Performance Center. They're building motors for 3 boats, and we're like the top 3.
Well, we appreciate it. We thank you for taking time out of what we know is a busy schedule getting ready here Tuesday morning. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Vigilante race team still looking very strong and competitive at this point in the race. They're enjoying a very fine run at this time. Right here, the motors start to be trimming up on their own, it seems. That starboard motor seems to be coming out of the water. As you can see, it is breaking the plane, the vertical plane, and is coming way out of the water, trimming way up, and obviously the boat is reacting to the trim that starboard motor is right now, just shooting out a very high rooster tail. Port motor seems to be okay, but the starboard motor is way out of the water, trimmed all the way up, thus presenting this problem right here. There you see it right there. We're not sure what it is. Could have been a blown hose, some type of pump, whatever, but you can just see that starboard motor trimmed way out of the water right now. Tough break for the Vigilante race team. Now we come up on another stock boat, S3, main attraction. This is a 32-foot Maelstrom catamaran by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Paul E. Kesselring from Sarasota, Florida, who is also doing the throttles. His driver today is Thomas Moeller, also hailing from Sarasota, Florida. So the crew from Sarasota, Florida, Kesselring and Moeller, making up your main attraction race team, are having a pretty good run right now at this point in time. They're second place right now behind the Calabats, K&K Ghost. So they're having a very good run actually right here. Main attraction holding off Longshot, who's in third place, and closing the gap between themselves and K&K Ghost right now. Just several minutes separating your first and second place boat right now. Kesselring and Moeller looking very strong right now and charging very hard as this first day of racing is coming to a close for some of the classes. They're really trying hard right now to overtake K&K Ghost, who's in first place and closing the gap hard. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but we wish them all the best. S3, main attraction, closing out today's competition in class for themselves right now as they head toward home. Now we come up on S1. This is Bermuda's racing team. It is a 24-foot skater catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboards. This boat is owned and throttled by Derek Simmons from Pembroke, Bermuda. And his driver today is Wesley Wilson from Southampton, Bermuda. So the crew of Simmons and Wilson from Bermuda make up Bermuda's racing team. And there's a reason for that S1 number on that boat. These guys had a phenomenal year. They took first place in the S class. They took first place in 1988 nationally in the stock class competition, holding off Felson's high-risk race team, as we mentioned earlier on. So Derek Simmons from Pembroke, Bermuda, had a very good campaign, and he's out here right now trying to take the World Championships also in stock class. They're presently running in 4th place behind K&K, Main Attraction, Longshot. But right now, 4th place, 3rd place in the first leg of racing is definitely a good spot to be in, with 2 more days of racing after this. So Pembroke, being the true champion that he is, knows what he has to do just to maintain the point standings for the World Championships, and that's what he's set out to do today. From Key West, Florida, it's Derek Simmons, Bermuda Racing Team from Bermuda, having a very good day today. Bermuda's Racing Team, S1, your national champion for '88. S1 and Longshot going for the finish right here in stock class. This is for your 3rd and 4th place finisher right here. Longshot on the outside, Bermuda's Racing Team on the inside. These boats, Longshot taking a slight lead on the outside, going by Bermuda's Racing Team right here. He's made his move in the final stretch heading toward home, and Longshot is taking the lead over Bermuda's Racing Team right there. You've just seen the big push for 3rd place between these 2 boats. So right now as it stands, Longshot is in 3rd place with Bermuda's Racing Team in 4th place, but not giving in at all. S1 is still charging hard. You see the wake of the boat of Longshot at the top of your screen, and obviously Longshot is in sight of the S1 race boat. Simmons has them dialed in, and he's charging hard, trying to retake the lead. There you see the distance between Longshot and Simmons in S1 as they round the final checkpoint heading toward home. And here we're staying with Randy Schism, who has just made that big move to take 3rd place. S5, the Longshot race team. This is a 24-foot red skater catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Randy Schism from St. Peters, Missouri, and his driver is Larry Van Amity from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Longshot race team. They had a very good campaign this year. They've raced 3 times and they took a first place each time. Grand Haven was a first, Port Huron was a first, and Atlantic City, New Jersey, they took a first place there also. They hope to be the 1988 world champion, and with a move that he just made to close out in 3rd place in class, he's certainly going to be positioning himself in a fine spot for Thursday's leg of this championship. So Schism really has his boat dialed in quite nicely. The long shot race team looking very strong, and Schism hopes to make true his prophecy of being the 1988 world champion in class. We wish them all the best from Key West, Florida, long shot race team. From Longshot, we come up on S17 Hat-Trick. This is a 24-foot skater powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Marshall Buter Jr. from St. Charles, Missouri, and on throttles he's got Terry L. Ayers, also from St. Charles. The Hat-Trick race team, who are also trying to make a strong close toward the finish. They're presently running in 5th or 6th place right now, behind a couple of the boats from Bermuda, but charging hard nonetheless. S17 Hat-Trick Racing. Right now we're closing out with Hat-Trick. Many of the boats are already in and finished through Mallory Square, and we'll be compiling our final results for today's first leg